So something similar happened to me one time at a mic. This veteran, 80-year-old veteran was coming down the stairs. I was already on stage doing shit. And this 80-year-old veteran just fell on the stairs. I think Facebook did or something. And of course, everybody was like, oh, my 80 years old. You know, he's dead. He's dead. He's out of here. Guys. And then they put him right in front of the stage. In front of me. I'm like, hey, thanks for your service. Of course, everybody was dead. Like, nobody wanted to laugh. Nothing on the count. It was hilarious.
Like a circus.
Oh, man.
What are you going to say?
Because they were nice, new, fake big ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But then she had this tiny little body that went inward.
Okay, then that's not the video I expected.
So we ended up seeing her vagina too.
What?
Because like I think she was wasted and her dress went all the way up to here. Because there was nothing to hold her dress down.
Well,
like a butt. It was just, it slid straight up.
Well, you just have a great show.
I attract some sightsee shit. Definitely.
It's also downtown. Like,
It's downtown.
okay, cool. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's do it. Let's give it a shot.
All right, welcome everybody to the Psst, Did You Hear That podcast with me, Imre, Mehesz, and...
Oh wait, we didn't clap.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
There's a clap.
Yes, there is a clap. Because I'm... Sweetie, the SD card, I was freaking out.
Oh, we get clap.
So these are for the syncing. All right, are you guys ready? 1, 2, 3. Hey, that was horrible. All right, let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. Did I clap early?
You went to.
You did. I followed you.
Okay, it's gonna be 3 and clap.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Close in.
There you go. There.
Welcome everybody to the Psst, Did You Hear The podcast with me, Imre, Mehesz, and
So funny.
today our guest is DeAndre Stringer.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the show.
What up?
So this is
Glad to be.
Glad to have ya.
Glad to be here.
all right. So this is not your first time on the podcast, which is on a podcast. No, which is awesome. You have experience. You know the drill.
Yeah, I know the drill of just sitting here. We sit here, talk shit. We say a lot of things. Some of it's going to be good. Some of it's going to be questionable.
Yeah, that's all there is. We are just here to talk about Bryce and his pretty much spelling errors on Facebook.
I can't believe that actually happened.
No, that's
I don't even know what we're talking about.
doesn't matter.
You just told me.
People exploded. So there is this new guy, Bryce lad. He came on the scene like 3-4 months ago. He posted something in the Jacksonville comedy group as a joke, I think. I don't know. But he used like every word was misspelled. Obviously, it's a joke, right?
It is.
People exploded.
Because of his spelling.
Yes. Oh, this is the failure of the American education system. Can you fix it? And the worst thing is, he replied, he was trying to spell correctly, and he still had spelling mistakes. That's why I was laughing. I'm going to bring it up. If it comes to the mic tonight, I'm going to bring it up.
I don't care that much. Like, that's a lot to carry.
Yeah.
It is.
To go at somebody for spelling. I went to public school. All my shit I spelled wrong. So, some of the shit.
Here's the thing. I love grammar and I love languages, right?
Yeah.
So I learned English the proper way at first, but I didn't speak it. Then I moved here and I just learned by speaking and watching movies. So my spelling is horrible now. I can't spell words properly. So I always was, hey, fix this, ChatGPT or whatever, you know.
But wouldn't have autocorrect corrected his if it was.
He would have. He was joking.
He was joking.
Clearly.
So he was
People.
he was doing it on purpose.
I think so. I think.
Yeah, because I know him. Yeah, he talks a lot of shit. He jokes around like we all do.
Yes. Exactly.
This was in the comedy group.
Right.
With a bunch of communians.
That's my
can't take a
favorite.
joke.
But when comedians get offended on a Facebook comedy group, I'm like, this is comedy, right?
That's
Crazy.
repair.
I mean, you guys know what I always just post crap. Yeah, it's always something stupid. So
Whatever.
whatever.
Shit with Imre.
Yeah. So anyway, but back to you, DeAndre. This is not Bryce's podcast. Is it?
It's hey man. Shout out to Bryce, man. Keep spelling shit wrong.
I don't. It just happened recently. So I realized it's funny. But anyway, when did you start comedy?
I started comedy January the 28th, man. It was about 6 years ago. All right, you do the
Wait, 18th, right? Not
There you
the
go.
28th. Or you are from the future.
January the 28th, 6 years ago.
He knows the day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, January. I thought you meant 2028. January. All right. I'm like, are you from the future?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. No, I was.
Just came here for a little spell.
Okay. So that's crazy that you know the day.
Yeah,
I kind of know like I started in March 2008, 17 or something like that, but that's it.
hey, it's all good. Now, I went on stage for the very first time with my friend encouraging me to do it. And I literally got on there, went great. I was like, hell yeah. Went back the second time, bombed the fuck out of that whole set.
Normal.
Yeah.
That's totally normal.
Yeah, it was horrible. Like, I remember the joke that I got no laughs on. I told a joke about jaywalking, and it made no sense at all. And so I was like, yep. I wasn't discouraged, but I was like, okay, this is cool. This is cool. I walked off and had comics in Ohio. He was like, yeah, I don't think he's gonna be here for long.
Okay, so you started in Ohio. That's interesting.
Yeah.
How is the size of Dayton?
Dayton, Ohio.
All right, that's awesome. I think I have a friend who's from that. Anyway,
Everybody always says that.
As a friend.
Well, you know, hey, I have a guy. I have somebody from Dayton. Maybe you don't. It's okay. Nobody knows that.
let me go. Okay, so here's a question: how is the scene different over there compared to here?
The scene in Ohio, I can say it can keep you busy because everything is very much close. It's a whole lot of comedy clubs in the local area and close to Ohio. So in Ohio, we have the Dayton Funny Bone. You have the Liberty Funny Bone. We just had one of the oldest comedy clubs. It's closed not too long ago. It was called Wiley's Comedy Club. We have another one called the Columbus Funny Bone.
More than Jacksonville, it sounds.
You have, and then if you go like in the outer skirts, kind of like close to Cincinnati, you have the Go Bananas Comedy Club, which is still in Ohio. And then if you want to keep going, it's like in some outskirts. It's literally called Crackers.
Okay,
It's a real comedy club.
I believe it.
That's called Crackers Comedy Club. And I say all those clubs like it's so many clubs in the area that surrounds Ohio. And then you got clubs that's in Indiana, you got clubs that's in Kentucky. Like, so the scene is great if you're just trying to be only in that area. You can always stay booked. You can always, the only thing it takes for you to be on one show and really, bump elbows with the right person and, talk to the right people, and then you could be on shows. But it can get very complacent a lot of times because when you start seeing the same places or start doing the same thing, and then, I forgot another one, Toledo Funny Bone. When you start doing the same spots, it kind of gets like, all right, bro, okay.
I mean, imagine us here. We have one comedy floor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So it's like it's a place where like literally you can have work
Right.
if you want it. Like, you can have work, but I think for me, I was able to do comedy clubs, do the Funny Bones, and do stuff like that where I was looking for a different atmosphere.
Right.
So I fell here in Jacksonville, but I was looking for a different area, to really branch out and do it. And I've been cool here in Jacksonville. It's been really
No, you've been. I was thinking. I think I met you at the Comedy Zone. You were DJing or something.
yeah. That's literally
for the comics, but
That's literally I got my start. A lot of people don't know my backstory. Like, I started comedy January the 28th, and it was at one of our oldest comedy clubs that was called Wiley's Comedy Club. So that was the first time me stepping on stage. But when I was like 18, I got a job working at the Dayton Funny Bone. That is great. So
Nice.
and I became like the sound guy. So what I did at the Comedy Zone, I did at the Funny Bone. I did that for a while, and I was being able to see so many comics.
right.
And I was able to like watch them and like, okay, this is cool. And never thought about doing comedy until I asked somebody like, what does it take to do stand-up? He was like, bro, you work at a comedy club. What the fuck do you mean? What does it take to be a comedian? Like, you just gotta go on stage. And then also he's like, you're at the Mecca, you're a part of the Funny Bone. So it's like, bro, all you have a master class of what to do and what not to do. So all you have to do is just watch and be like, all right, I like what this guy did. Don't do that fucking joke. Don't do something like that. And then you just find your voice. So that's where I really got my start. And then my friend just pushed me to do it like on January 28th.
That is great. Another memory of you, I don't know if you remember that at Vooswar, and there was a person in a wheelchair on stage. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And you were behind me or something, and you picked the wheelchair up or something. It was hilarious because the wheelchair person could not get off stage.
Yeah.
My God.
So it was a weird ass night.
Vooswar.
A lot of weird shit happened at Vooswar.
Yeah.
But that night, it was a girl who was in a wheelchair. They got her on stage, and
They left her.
yeah, they should have at this road, but they could not figure the fuck out how to get her off.
That's sick.
So you saw
This thing.
this girl hop out of a chair, sit on a stair, and her apparently her boyfriend or fucking caregiver was like pulling her arm, and so she just like dangling. And I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" And we're all just standing there witnessing this shit. And guess who's after that? Me. So I was like,
Let me get this business.
so I just go up. It's like we all just witnessed a fucking crime of abuse. Like,
So something similar happened to me one time at a mic. This veteran, 80-year-old veteran was coming down the stairs. I was already on stage doing shit. And this 80-year-old veteran just fell on the stairs. I think Facebook did or something. And of course, everybody was like, "Oh, my 80 years old. You know, he's dead. He's dead. He's out of here."
Guys.
And then they put him right in front of the stage. In front of me. I'm like, "Hey, thanks for your service." Of course, everybody was dead. Like, nobody wanted to laugh. Nothing on the count. It was hilarious.
He's like a therapist.
Oh man.
What are you gonna say? You know?
It's so I feel bad because I booked someone in a wheelchair once, and I thought that the owner would have had it set up to get up there, and he didn't.
He didn't.
So I felt so stupid when I called him up, and I was like, "Oh shit! I just realized there's like a huge like cliff to climb."
Kilimanjaro, you gotta climb up your wheel.
And then he ended up doing the stand up like in the audience with the people like this. And one was using that reference to them. I think, oh my God, I feel so bad.
It's your hand movements. I was thinking that he had something.
So that's
You got a lift or something. You don't know anybody from like the JEA buses? It's the like nobody.
You're not carrying a rampage you at all hands. Maybe I gotta get up these stairs.
But no, man, that night was a weird ass night. Like to witness somebody just being tugged down flights of stairs. It's just funny, and we all just like standing there, it's like, what the
Vooswar is one of those places that sometimes it's totally fine, and many times it is just weird things happen, like boobs pop up. Yeah, like
that's like Justice Pub too.
yeah, Justice Pub is on night. I didn't want to bring it up, but yes, Justice Pub is on night.
There's always something crazy goes down.
Yeah, you know, I saw one of the clips that you posted. I think that's Justice Pub.
She was twerking.
And
Something died.
and it was a lady who pulled her tits out.
Oh yeah.
I was like, wow,
Yep.
this is a great show.
Yeah, there's a new party stars.
And people were just like applauding, like this was supposed to happen.
I think I saw that clip, but I don't know. I was a little bit disappointed. But
Disappointed.
It's an open like is this?
yeah, they open mic. I mean, that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, and she did it on request several more times.
Yes. Yeah.
And can you do it again? I even asked her, can you do the third time? Can I get a recording? She just kept doing it.
Can I get a recording of my tits being recorded?
Yeah.
Or
And then I lost all the material. Only what got posted that night. Yeah.
wow, it was worth it.
Tit footage. Yeah.
No.
That's it.
Who cares about the other 3 hours of comedy? Yeah, who cares about that? Kids popping in your face.
And it's when you got a lady who's willing to whip a tit out on demand, that's a good show.
Because I've seen comedians having a hard time getting tits shown on their show.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen people like, you know, I always want to see a titty. He was like, no, but nothing, nobody.
That's like a burn.
Like, nah, it ain't.
Yeah,
I think I remember now. She was proud because they were nice, new, fake big ones.
Oh, really?
But then she had this tiny little body that went inward.
Mm.
Okay, then that's not the video I
Actually,
expected.
we ended up seeing her vagina too.
What?
Because like I think she was wasted and her dress went all the way up to here. Because there was nothing to hold her dress down.
Well,
Like a butt. It slid straight up.
Well, you just have a great show.
I attract some spicy shit. Definitely.
It's also downtown. Like,
And it's downtown. It's a combination of things.
Yeah, no, I that's something right there.
Yes.
It's not that's only happened one time when I did Anna Lipley's drag show at the Blue Jay, and it was me, Scott, Luik, and Mikey B, and it was one other person, and we're all just standing on Crespo. We're all standing on stage, being judged and shit like that. And a lady just whipped out the fattest titty ever and was just like holding it. It was just like going like that. We Blue Jay, really?
I ever and nothing.
Just whipped out the fattest tit. And we were all just like, wow. And then Scott leaned over, was like, yeah, she does it all the time. Like, I know her. I was like, well, how do you know people? It's just,
I don't know people like this.
how do you know people just whip titties out at every show? Like, all right.
That's crazy.
Hey,
Maybe she was from Vooswar. It's kind of
man. That's why I was like, Jacksonville is interesting, man.
All right. So where else did you perform other than Ohio and Jacksonville?
I've performed in Georgia. I have performed in Indiana, Kentucky. I've also have performed in Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, not Austin. Sorry.
Not Austin.
Sorry,
Yeah.
guys.
Everybody.
Not Austin, but
Nice.
yeah, it's pretty much those are the like states, man. Like I've like.
So what was your experience just being in other scenes?
I think the camaraderie amongst comedians, just like how when I got here, like it's different. The camaraderie is always the same, like but everybody's different in that whole same. Like the same is you have the comics where it's just like, God bless them, they're trying.
They're trying.
Yeah.
They try, and then you have the ones who are like seasoned, who have been doing it for a while, that know how to punch up a joke, that can very much help you out. And then you also have like the top tier comics where it's like, hey, if you're trying to get booked on a show, I know a guy, or hey, I got this, you can need this. So every scene is like that. But what I love is just like either the support that I've seen, like where people just be like, hey man, just go ahead, go up, just see what happens. You're like, who cares? If you bomb, you fucking bomb. Who gives a fuck? We're gonna roast you after this shit, but still fine.
Yeah.
But it's all about the camaraderie. So that's what I've seen in the scenes that I've been in.
That you like more about other places?
Yeah, I think Georgia was the one. Atlanta was the one I really enjoy, but I realized like it's fast paced.
Who Atlanta is different. They have the same, like they have different groups, just like in Jacksonville.
Yes.
But they have,
Groups of comics?
Yeah.
but they have like I don't know how many mics a week.
Oh my god,
Insane. Insane.
I learned I learned that fast, like how like Atlanta,
I want to go.
Atlanta, man, is a different beast. Like I got humbled very much so in Atlanta. I did a it's like a 2 a.m. or 1 o'clock a.m.
Yeah, 1 a.m. mic. Yeah.
Oh my God.
They don't have it anymore. I went over there. They canceled it. I went over there. It was so cool. It was behind a club, like a dance club.
Literally.
You had to go through the dancers. And me, I'm old, right? Everybody's like 17 years old. I'm like, I'm not even looking because I'm going to get arrested.
Bro.
Okay. And anyway, it's behind a club. And it was awesome.
It's
So
awesome.
they brought people in from the dance floor and outside.
Yes.
It was so good.
Literally.
Why'd they cancel?
I mean, they want to do something else, like the person who was hosting it, I think.
Yeah,
it's done.
it was an awesome experience. Like he said, it's literally a dance club. Like it's like where you're sitting at, it's and like above you is like, ah, and then like at the bottom is like, let's hear comedy. So and they come in, but when I did it, man, like all these guys were having a good night. They was having a good night, and I went up, man, and none of my jokes hit. None of them. And I was like trying to pull out something, but I was like in the room, and I could see like these guys are like thoroughbred, like touching each other. Okay, hey, man, this is the joke you should have did right here, or you should have did.
You know what you're trying to
You should have flipped it.
See, they help each other.
You know what I'm saying? So when I saw that, I was like, man, that's a different beast. Like these guys really punch up each other's jokes. And then I did another mic where I knew a guy and I did pretty decent in that room. It was an older crowd. But one thing I told like a church joke and they would like push back. They was like, yeah, they real serious about Jesus and the lamb.
Damn.
None of my abortion jokes were there. just an FYI.
But I saw the quickness of it where people was like, yeah, you funny, but I know for a fact, like if you want to continue to like do shows here, you gotta work at it more. You gotta really force your voice out, because we understand like you're different. Like the fact that you're from Ohio but you live in Jacksonville, Florida. Okay, how can that translate here in Atlanta? And so it's much of a busier scene in Atlanta. I like the fast pace. Like they have mics Monday through Sunday. Yeah. I had a guy give me a card. He was like, hey man, if you're still in town after church, we go to this center where we do clean open mic comedy right after church. I was like, that's cool. It's insane.
Wow.
They have a mic at a Waffle House, I think.
Right,
Waffle House parking lot. Yeah.
That's so fun.
Yeah. But they get you you're motivated.
That's how you get better.
That's how you get better. Like you able to handle anything. So like Atlanta, when I did Atlanta, that puts it like at top when I saw like comics working together with camaraderie and saw them like punching up each other's jokes and then like literally will say the joke that the other comic just said and like that's how you fucking say the joke, and it was like, oh man,
right,
and it's actually more funny.
Well, saying here we have the opposite. You go up, you want to get down, someone just shits on your joke. That last comedian, man, what a moron, what a fucker. What the hell?
Always try to help. I always try.
Always, Imre.
Yes.
You are. You're helpful. You're helpful.
Most of the time.
I just haven't seen you at an open mic in a long time.
But the thing is, I'm running the Wednesday mic, so I do my 15-minute there and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, hello. I've seen you at that. Duh.
Yeah.
Anywhere else I haven't seen you. Oh,
actually, last week I went out to like 4 mics, I think. Yeah. So I was hammering it. I need to get back into it. I'm just doing a bunch of other stuff. I get into a ping pong tournament and stuff.
Yeah. I for myself, like I want to get back to the open mic thing. Like last week I did Voussoir, which was very interesting. Did Voussoir, and I wasn't able to get to another mic. Like I've been wanting to do Deaf by Comedy. Because I've just been seeing a lot of like the photos, and I've been hearing people talk about it. And I've had some of the people who put on the show on like our open mic that me and my comrade DJ Diamond do, called it's called D&D Takeover Open Mic. But
that's yours?
Yeah. So be back in January. So also we did that. And we were able to get like the guys who do Deaf by Comedy, and they were pretty cool. It was like real cool. One, cool to hang out with and just talk to. Very nice, and they were pretty funny. So I'm like, okay. And I saw that they had their own space. And I was like, I want to do that. But a lot of times my work schedule gets in the way. And then I also do other gigs where I may have an actual comedy show I got to do,
right? Or
I'm doing a show with my friend Diamond. So it's like, a lot of times I'm working even when I'm trying to like get on that stage and like hits like some jokes and stuff like that. Because right now I think I've been in my writing stage of just writing about like being newly married, having like new family members.
Like,
new family members, like adjusting to a lot of shit, like and like now talking about my work life. So it's like all that stuff has just been like piling up in my head, and I've just been like jotting it down in the phone.
That's awesome. I mean, that's how you do it. Like when I started, I was just sitting down and writing jokes out of nowhere. And now, as I got older and got more into comedy, I just talk about what's happening.
Yeah, it works. It just works.
And people having a harder time stealing your stuff, right? Because it happened to you, then somebody can ask and fake it. But
yeah,
it's original.
So my question to you guys: what is your like writing style? Like,
That's what I was gonna ask you.
wait, head of the game. What is your writing style? Like for me, I'm coming to find out like I like writing what my big punch is going to be, which is like I had this thing in my phone about my wife getting a massage by a white lady. And literally when I read that, I remember the whole thing. And that's how I'm able to recite the joke.
Oh, okay.
So it's literally like the setup. It's literally the premise. It's just I set it up and I can be able to read like what's let's see, one of my common jokes, Midget. Like it's Midget, where I like, okay, I remember when I dated a midget, and I'm able to remember that whole story and recite it.
So it was, so for example, when I started for about the first year, I didn't do more than 5 to 7 minutes, right? So I was totally fine. I memorized everything to the T. Like I memorized just taking a breath. I memorized taking a breath. Okay. After that, once you hit 10 minutes, you're having a harder time memorizing stuff. So I couldn't just memorize the entire stuff. That's when I started memorizing just by a word. Like I have the same thing. So I have a word that triggers my memory, and I can just read the whole joke. But for like a longer set, now I use this technique called the memory palace.
Ooh.
So I can memorize a 5-minute set in like a minute, 2 minutes, something. So it's technically you create a story that is so outrageous that you just immediately remember what the story is. So I have these words, what you have, right? Yeah, midget. Yeah. And I insert that midget into a story.
What you do with midgets.
That's it. So I think when I learned about it, they were talking about, oh, Britney Spears riding in on a donkey, but she is a midget. Right? It's so vivid that you will remember this till next week.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's how I put together a story that flows together, like it's a 1-minute story.
Story of images.
Images in your head.
Yeah, images in my head. Yeah.
And that minute translates to 5 to 10 minute set. You know what I mean? So that's what I use for memorization.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I need to write more because I don't really. Most of my comedy just comes out stuff that I just say. That's like with my friends or something. It just comes out funny out of my subconscious brain, and I'm like, oh, I write it down. That's been my process. I need to dedicate more to actually just getting into the rhythm of writing. Like, all right, at this day, this time. But sometimes I have these writer blocks. I get to Starbucks. I'm like, I do other shit, and I'm like, yeah. But really, that's my stuff. Is just it comes out of talking, just out of nowhere.
That's good stuff. Like my writer's block can last like for a while, and for me, I realized like I had to find my way of like writing. Like I know I'm not like those crafty like writer, like somebody like a Seinfeld where like this word goes with here, and you got like that's not my style.
Well, neither. He's like, more like that.
Like but where mine is very much like you said, it's like visual. I can very much see what I'm talking about. I'm triggered by a word, and I can just go off of that, or just I just remember the story, right? How everything went, and then like I write like a whole thing in my phone, and then as I'm saying it live to people, I'm literally working it out. So if the word I say didn't hit somebody or like making like okay, I can't say that word anymore, or okay, can't do that word anymore. Oh, I see where they laughed at that, so I need to add more to that and I have to punch. So for me, mine is more of like entertaining and more of flowing, more goofy, more silly, where it's not as like pinpoint like this where it sounds like I'm a fucking robot. Like, nah.
I've seen you many times, so you are very alive on stage, and that was my problem because I was so into writing the first year. I was very robotic. I was robotic even for myself. So now, because I started hosting and I'm more comfortable, obviously. So I'm a much different person now compared to when I started. But yeah, I love your stuff all the time. You're very, very energetic. Yeah, your stories are crazy good.
Well, thank you, man.
Midgets. Yes. The funny thing is, you're not the first person with midget story on.
No.
I'm a story too.
Yeah, you have a midget story.
I haven't dated one.
You haven't?
No.
Oh, yeah. So
you are missing out.
Yeah, it was a short-lived relationship, I can tell you that. But dating a midget She was cool as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. She was like the most coolest lady.
Yeah.
She was an older midget. So that
An OG.
like she was an OG midget. Like she was the shit. Like she was the shit. Like she taught me. I don't know how raw we can get on this show.
Oh,
Whatever.
But taught me how to fuck in a very nice way.
wow.
Literally.
Making love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She still while enjoying it at the same time. Like she was giving like it was literally her voice was very like faint. Very faint. So it sounded like somebody like whispering. It was just and she was like,
Go on.
like I was like, what?
That's what I'm missing. Good job.
Right? I need that pop. The force.
She was so coachable, man. It's like she coached me well. It was good. And then like we just kept looking up. She was like, wow, you learned a lot. It's the first time we hooked up. I was like, nice.
Wow.
All right.
Shout out to her in this world. She's still alive. And they say life is too short. You'd be here all week, guys.
There, right? I mean, that's awesome. You know, a supportive partner is super important.
She was cool, man. Shout out to her. She's really good.
A supportive partner.
No, it is important. It is.
In the bedroom, you mean?
No, like in general in life, not just, but comedy is specifically.
Yes.
You know, I'm just like, you know, dating the girl, and it's not for everybody. You know, we are out every night. We are out till like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. It's not for everybody.
It is. I thank God for my wife because like it takes a strong person to really understand what we actually do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like to come home like at 1 or 2 o'clock and just like, yeah. And then you realize like you coming off that high. So you got to sit up for a little minute and like kind of calm down while this person is like knocked the hell out and you just like interrupting their whole sleep pattern and shit like that.
Sure.
It takes a lot. But my wife, she's more of a night owl. So on certain shows, you know, especially when I go like to like St. Augustine or like we did like Savannah, Georgia, certain spots that we go. She's like, okay, we can make this like a trip. And she enjoys it a lot more than me because like she books, she takes care of like the hotel and then make sure we got like stuff to do while we're getting ready to go do the show.
That's a good wife.
So yeah, so she's really good. And a lot more comics know her like in the scene more than they actually want to fucking talk to me. So they was like, hey, how's your wife doing? Fuck you. How's she doing?
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, that's actually like super supportive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just need somebody who is tolerate comedy.
A lot of times she will, if I think when I'm getting on her nerves too much, she would be like, yeah, go do a mic. Just please.
Go get out of the house.
Go talk to somebody. Go talk to your comedian friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Good shit.
It is. Flo, do you have anybody special in your life?
No.
Was such a solid no.
No, it is hard, and especially I think for girls it's even harder.
It is
because guys are jealous. You know, I met people who thought we are always gangbanging after an open mic. I'm like, no, we don't. So
that's true. That's true, man.
So men, just in general, I feel like more jealous than girls are. Yeah, it could be that.
Yeah.
I get it, man. For females, it is different. Like it's very much different. Like for y'all, because some dudes are assholes. Like you just hang around these dudes all day, just laughing. Liar. Like.
Oh, this guy is so funny. What did you just say? Getting funnier than me, you know what I mean?
Right.
Oh man, but no, listen, Flo, there's love for you out there.
Yeah.
It is.
It's there. Somewhere.
It's there. Like Flo, you're not doing comedy. Are you a school teacher?
Yeah.
Really?
Theater.
Dope.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
Yeah. So
How long?
this is my 8th year.
8th year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that is crazy.
There's a comedy unit, but it's hard to teach kids. Like,
Yeah, because they have to understand sarcasm and stuff. You know, I mean, like that's a art. Well, I mean, my sense of humor is very sarcastic.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that sense of humor.
Yeah,
Sarcastic.
but it's to try to teach it to a kid because they don't. My son is finally trying to get it.
Yeah.
My daughter gets it. She's just like, she has a dark sense. My daughter has a dark sense of humor, just like me. But my son, he's younger, so he's like trying to figure sarcasm out. That's not really fun. That's pretty funny to watch.
There's a certain age that you hit, like my 8th and 7th, they get it more, but the 6th are like, they think I'm dead serious. I'm like,
Yeah.
guys, you don't know my sarcasm by now, but they learn with time in there. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. My favorite sense of humor is dark humor. Like I laugh at a whole lot of shit I'm not supposed to laugh at. Yeah. It's because like I can relate to it in some way somehow. Like one of my coworkers sent me a video on Instagram and it said God really cursed him double. And it took a picture of a black Down syndrome black man. I laughed.
It's pretty dark.
Laughed my ass off. Sorry at work. She was like, "Did you get it?" I was like, "Yeah, that shit's good." Some shit I laugh at, man. It's just like, yeah, that's good. That's good. Other jokes, I love your abortion jokes. I know somebody shouldn't say that out loud, but it's just
That's stupid. Oh no, don't. So I have people either hate me or love me, right? There is no in between. People either just come up to me and you are the worst. It's horrible. Don't say that ever again. Or oh my god, you're the funniest guy. So I have these two edges, and that's it, which is totally fine by me. I just want some kind of a reaction, right? And if I have enough people who like my stuff, they're gonna laugh, and the other people will laugh because it's just so dark, right?
yeah.
So that's how I go about it.
I just like dark humor. I push the envelope with some of my dark humor. Like I haven't went full dark, but he don't want to go too black. He don't want to go that far. but I like dark humor. To where it makes you laugh, but it's kind of like even though you laugh at it, was like it's true. Like, there's truth. There's truth to this dark humor. So that's type of shit. Like
I think it's a coping mechanism.
It is.
You know what I mean? Like I grew up, in a communist country, right? When I was a young kid, and I was wondering maybe that's why it is like it is. But my whole family most of my family is like that also.
really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
My family, on my mom's side of the family, the funniest person was my grandmother.
okay,
And her humor, and she still got it. Like, and she still got it to this day. Like, her humor is so sharp, and she says stuff that can just make you burst out into tears.
right.
Like, man, how? Like the most funniest thing I ever heard my grandma say. My mom shaves off her eyebrows, and she draws on her eyebrows. And my grandmother told her, she was like, "Why you always walking around looking surprised all day?" And she was like, "You just walk around like somebody saying, to you." And that shit had me crying. And that type of shit, I like that type of humor. It's fucked up, but it's like truth to it. Is what that's true. So like my grandma, her humor is it's light, but she goes dark with so much truth in it. Where she may say something to hurt your feelings, but make you be like, yeah, I should probably get my shit together. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then on my dad's side, it's very churchy. Like they are, but I call them church thugs because they were thugs. They were all about the street life. Yeah, they found Jesus. So, they done found Jesus, but they still got like thug mentality. Where instead of like they'll beat you like with their hand, they're just gonna beat you with a Bible. Like that's literally
Right.
how they do things. So like, and their humor is like a party humor where people just roast each other at a.
I was about to say, because that's roasting.
Yeah, it's it.
Your grandma's.
That it's just roasting humor. Like I've witnessed my cousin cuss my own uncle out, like over a game of spades. Like he literally told like you old crippled nigga. I was like, whoa, whoa,
Cripple.
that what had me. I was like, whoa, Like he just got out of the hospital about 2 days ago. How we already going this hard? But that's its type of humor that I'm used to. It's roasting and dark. You know what I mean? So I had the best of both worlds, and like watching comedy all my life, whether it's stand up or like comedic actors. So I love watching.
Who are your favorite comedians?
My favorite comedians, of course, you gotta let me list the gods first. So somebody like Richard Pryor, love Richard Pryor. I love Eddie Murphy. Love Robin Williams. And then for me, my personal favorite is Jamie Foxx.
Oh, interesting. Okay, cool.
Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
So those to me are those like the guys. These the guys that are like up there. But Jamie, I will pull down from the God seat. But Jamie, the Wayans brothers.
Yeah.
I am a big fan of Cat Williams.
Good. Yeah.
I love Cat, and then also Carlos Miller. Yeah, you know who Carlos Miller is. I love how awkward it got in my
So I was thinking about Carlos Mencia, but no, that's not. Yeah.
And like Carlos Miller is a part of the trio called 85 South show. Three guys that were individual successful comedians got onto his show Wildin' Out and created their own podcast, and now have taken that podcast around the world, performing on stage together, live, selling out different fucking arenas, and then got a Netflix special of just doing that shit.
But it was a podcast?
Yep.
Traveling around doing a podcast, but the podcast
It's literally
then had an audience.
Yeah, literally it. If you go on Netflix and type in 85 South, you're gonna see three guys, and it's literally a live podcast, but it's a comedy show, and they stand on stage and just talk shit. That's it.
With each other. Do
With
they
each-
interact with the audience?
They interact with the audience. They interact with each other. They make songs. All of this shit into one,
Nice.
and it's all freestyle. It's not planned. It's just like Imre said something about abortion, and they just make a song about it. Like, oh yeah, this shit is funny. And then like, you say something about like, hell, I'm single, and we just go on a riff about being single. It's a whole show. It's a whole show. But I admire Carlos Miller because it's the way he tells his jokes. He's like this old. He's in his like late 30s, going into his 40s, and literally sounds like that uncle that just likes to talk shit on the front porch, but who has lived and done a lot of shit, and all his jokes either revolve around his family or his sexual life or deals with like his grandmother or his like grandfather. I can very much relate to that because I've been around older people all my life. So that's where most of my spirit, where I'm just a very calm, like old spirit guy, because I've been around old people. I can recite you hundreds of songs by B.B. King due to my grandmother. But those are the comics that I really fuck with. Jamie Foxx is really the one for me because he could sing, he could act, and he can also make you laugh. Right. For me, I can sing and I can tell jokes. You know what I mean? So it's just like,
You're almost there.
I'm almost there. Like acting, I don't know about that, but that guy really, it resonated to me, and he like, I used to watch the Jamie Foxx show all the time, and that's how funny. And so as for the Wayans brothers, like Marlon Wayans is my favorite out of all. They're hilarious. It's because he's physical. Like Marlon commands your attention on stage. And like, or on a television show, when he comes on, you just be like, what the fuck is he going to do? Like, he may be naked, he may be screaming, like he may do something that's just like, okay, that's out of the ordinary. So it commands your attention. Right. Yeah. And the last one, if I gotta say him, RP, the Bernie Mac.
Oh, Bernie Mac was great. Yeah, I used to watch him.
Yeah.
We had a show. I used to watch that show too.
Yeah. Bernie Mac is really who I like to idolize myself as, not being scared.
Oh, I love that bit when he goes into the...
Yeah, I ain't scared of you.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
But his ability to just walk on stage and to be like, I'm really not scared of y'all. Like, I have a mic and I will say what the fuck I want, and then I'm gonna leave. that right there was a great. And then if you ever seen the Kings of Comedy.
Yes, the early on.
Okay.
Early
All right. The Kings of Comedy. If you go back and watch Bernie's like introduction where Steve Harvey announces him and he just busts out and people go crazy and he hasn't even done anything.
Yeah.
All he did is he just like dance and he grabs the mic and just said like, I'm sick of you motherfuckers. And people just like, what the fool? And just lose it because it's like he's got your attention. His spirit was just so strong. And like when I step on stage, I want people to feel that. Like I want people to be like, yo, that dude did fucking damage. It's a fucking force. So for to be a 5'5" guy, that's my goal. Is like to bust out and have people just like laughing out their fucking seats.
I think I need to watch more and see you more. I think I saw you, but a long time ago, and that I went to Brazil several times this year.
Such a
I
humble brag.
I know, right? Like, it's several times this year, and we're at the Brazil.
I've traveled to Brazil several times. You know, you wasn't there.
But I didn't see you guys all summer.
No, I was doing bigger things. I have a tour coming up in Brazil, actually.
Oh God, no, that's definitely not my intention. I was just trying to say how I haven't seen shit.
Nah, man, but no, like my shit, man. I think now I'm like getting more into like my personal life, like you, like it's getting more into my personal. So we're like, yeah, I can tell like a fucking joke. Yeah, we can all tell that. But like to go into detail about a situation that involves either a past relationship or a current relationship, like with my wife, or how we are trying to have a kid now and trying to have that life. Let's see how that shit's gonna work out. Like, am I ready to be a parent? You know what I mean? Like I'm very indecisive. Like I don't know if I want a baby or do I want Skittles. Like nobody I don't know. Like I don't know. So it's that now. It's just talking about my life was kind of makes me want to be like, okay, all right, well, I just want to be raw and be very uncut. Like my wife told me she watched one of my sets and like really listened. And she was like, you are very raunchy.
I do.
She was like, you don't realize it, but like you are a nice guy.
Right.
Like you're a thoroughly nice guy. You're sweet. People can tell that you're from the church. Like you grew up probably, was raised right and shit like that. But when you really go into your shit, you are raunchy.
Me too.
Like it is thorough detail of just shit like, how the fuck do you say this? It'd be so nice. Like, so I like that word that she gave. She's like, you're just raunchy.
But when you first started, were you raunchy and it wasn't personal life stuff, or like?
No, like when I first started, I'm gonna be honest. It was me imitating what I saw.
Yeah. I mean, that's normal.
And the biggest person who I can say like I imitated, who was like booming, and well, he's still booming, but he's more sitting in the high standard of comedians now, who's Kevin Hart. You know what I mean? So when I came out, like he was the man. He was the man. So a lot of comments, whether they wanted me to or not, like you copied how he produced a joke, or he went by the three, like he gave you the good. He basically he pulled you in, where you're like, okay, I'm in this now, Kevin. I'm all right. And then he said a whole lot of shit in the middle that kind of gave you like a ha 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 ha, and then he gave you the big knockout punchline at the end of it.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people copy that cadence. And like for me, I copied that cadence, and then also like I sounded like him. So I was just like, and I was like, man, I don't like that. I don't like that, because like when you start sounding like a comic, people start like, hey man, you like Kevin Hart. Like I don't want that.
Right.
I don't want that. So when I started, it was mostly like stuff I've seen, or it's easy. It's like hanging fruit. Either like my favorite go-to, which I hate to go to that, like even use now, like, you know what's good about black people? You know what's good about white folk? Like that shit is horrible. So like that was my stance. Like that was my stance in the beginning, until somebody told me like, bro, talk about what you actually do.
Yeah.
Or talk about like your actual life, man. Like it's easy to tell a room like, you know, white people like this, black people like that. Like it's easy. It's easy to do that. Only thing you're doing is dividing the room, but still, but all you're doing is dividing the room. But they still are able to laugh and shit like that. But it's just like don't nobody know who you are.
Right.
You don't know who you are. So for me, I had to learn how to talk about. Oh, I live with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I sleep on an air mattress. I don't have a bed, so it's like, oh, okay, all right. I grew up in church and I had a stutter problem. Really? Explain. So that shit had to like unfold. So like in the beginning, like man, was nothing but like shit that I heard. Wasn't no type of originality. It was like, seen it.
Yeah, but I mean, that's normal.
It's normal.
Everybody goes through that. Like I remember when I started and somebody was like, hey, have you ever seen Anthony Jeselnik? So I had to write it down. And Anthony Jeselnik. I went home and I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy is great. So I started watching a lot of him. But after a couple of months, I realized that I totally picked up his personality. Like I was like almost exactly like him on stage. You know, the jokes were not as strong, but I was trying to act like. So I actually stopped watching him altogether because I'm like, I don't want to do that. I want to become my own person.
Yep.
And you know, that morphed into what I'm doing now. You know, per time. But that's cool.
Yeah. What about you, Twill?
Well, to be
Well.
I didn't know if we were gonna cover that or not. I don't watch comedy, and I think I've only watched one full comedy show ever, and that was Kevin Hart. And I was probably like, a friend showed me and I was like, oh, I love Kevin Hart. And that was like the only comedian I ever really knew or watched. And I don't watch it. I don't even watch TV or movies or anything for several years. So like probably, yeah, I tried to pick back up like when I was in a relationship and he was the complete opposite all the time, big movies. So I was like I'm like, oh, like everyone has seen this movie, you have to watch that. So I was like, okay, try to be normal. But I just never watched anything, and I still don't ever watch anything. My go-to is social media, scrolling, YouTube.
I mean, that's not everybody's.
I still don't watch any comedy
Really?
at all. And I've never even watched any of the things you said.
Really?
At all. Anybody? Actually, I probably just discovered these names like Anthony Jeselnik probably a few months ago when you said it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not necessarily wrong. You know, the
there's a positive and a negative.
Yeah. The artist formerly known as Prince.
Yeah.
He did not listen to music.
Yeah.
Because he was like, I didn't want to
sound like anybody.
I didn't want to get influenced by anybody. And like music that he created was insane for the time. You know, right? And it was crazy.
Yeah. So that's the positive, right? But the negative is, like, actually, when I took a comedy course probably a year ago, that's what the main thing was showing, like, that's when I discovered who this Richard Pryor guy was. And I think I heard one little, like, 2-minute clip. And he's like, learn from the best, learn from the best. I'm like, oh, am I supposed to be like, that's how you learn how to format and write a joke? Because I never really, or like you said, you watch and you see the style and you're like, oh, that's how. And I have a friend, like, he's like a natural. And what did he do? He did what most like you guys do, is watch tons of comedy, loves it. And so he's good at just telling a joke. Like, he didn't even know that he's like doing a premise, a setup, and a punchline, just because he's watched so many comedians, so many comedy specials, that he can just do it himself. I'm like, dang, you can be a writer just from watching all these famous fucking comedians. And I'm like, do I need to sit and watch? And probably should, and know the best of the best. But I'm like, yeah.
I mean, you should learn the comedy, first of all. You should learn the comedy structures, and that's about it. Because after that, you will recognize the patterns. I mean,
well, over time, I've recognized and I've learned, and I probably could learn more. But really, my shit is just like, I just say stuff that's funny and I write it down, and I'm like, oh, yep, that's the punchline or whatever. But I'm not like the typical comedians that are probably doing it that way.
Yeah, everybody has like their own style. Like I know comics just like you, for like they don't watch comedy. It's just like like it's kind of like it's like a thing. Like I stumbled upon, like you know what, I say funny shit, let me see if I can get on stage and actually say it. And you just start to flow. Yeah, like, I'm not trying to say it like your name, but but you just start to flow, and it just comes just naturally, just like it comes in conversation. But me, I'm a comedy nerd. Like, so I grew up watching a whole lot of not just stand up, like just comedy, period. Like, In Living Color was my shit.
Man, well, as a kid, I was addicted to TV and comedies.
Yeah, okay.
Adam Sandler and all the shows on TV. But after that, I was like, take my TV off. I'm addicted.
So here's the thing. I knew who Richard Pryor was, but I didn't know him in details, right? I heard, right? It's like so earlier sketches or whatever. But there is a show. I actually wrote it down because I wanted to talk about this.
Yo,
There is a show called The Dark Side of Comedy on Hulu.
yes, it is.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
So I'm at the Richard Pryor episode, and I didn't know like his childhood, how rough it was and stuff. So anyway, it's a great freaking show.
It is.
It's not a show. It's like telling you the dark side of comedy.
Yeah,
like drugs and
it
stuff.
is. His story, I think, for Richard Pryor, I got introduced to him through my mom. The first thing I ever seen of Richard Pryor was live on the Sunset Strip, where he came out in the red suit and
California?
he was in California.
You were there?
No. I remember watching this.
This was like a long.
A long time ago. I wasn't even born. But my mom had this.
I already established that he's a time traveler early. And it was doing comedy in 2008.
But my mom had a VHS tape. And I think she still does. It's somewhere in the house. Of Richard Pryor live on the Sunset Strip. He had a red suit on and he had these gold ass shoes.
Yeah.
That right there, I remember watching it as a kid with my mom. Should have not been watching that with my mom
Right.
at all, because the shit that he talks about in there is like, ooh, all right. But that whole thing was like so theatrical and it was so funny, and I watched it with my mom. And then when I got older, watched it as a comedian, and you listen to what he's saying. It's funny.
Get differently.
It's funny, but it's like, ooh, this shit heavy. This shit's heavy. Like, he's talking about how he literally tried to commit suicide.
But he makes it funny.
Makes it.
He makes trauma funny, and that's good. That's
He
real.
tried to. He burned himself on purpose because he had a fucking addiction. He was trying to kill himself. And then he tells the story how he was on drugs so bad, drug dealers didn't want to give him drugs anymore. Like, and he was like, drug dealers was like, God damn, Rich, I just saw you like 3 minutes ago. Like, like this, you're bad, brother. Like, so hearing it is just like, bro, this shit is funny because he's making it funny, but it's so dark and it's true. And I was like, man. And when you really look into Richard Pryor, everything he ever talked about was truth, but it was just twisted up and funny. He made everything that happened to him growing up in a brothel. His mama was a hoe.
Yeah.
His daddy was a pimp.
Wow.
His grandmother was
Isn't Richard Pryor white?
No.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Very, very, very much black.
Sorry.
I love Flo. The next podcast,
I'm so glad it wasn't me.
I'm coming back with flashcards. This is Richard Pryor. This is Bernie and Matt. But no, like Richard Pryor, like his grandma was like pretty much the madam. Like, she was in charge of the whole house. Like, and the fact that he was a kid living in a whorehouse.
Yeah, he grew up
In a whorehouse.
That's great.
Saw his mama getting fucked by all these type of people, and his own father whooping his mama's ass. And
It was abusive,
yeah, his like
abusive.
all this shit that happened, and you created this comedic genius that people still talk about, and he died in like 2006. It's 2020. It's 2024, right?
People still talking about him.
Yeah, he was that.
I mean, he was very fun.
He was ahead of his time, and he was the first comic to make fun of white people in front of white people.
Yeah.
Good.
Like, to really say like, oh, this how y'all really be. Like, and it's like, whoa. I didn't know we can talk like that. But he made it a conversation. Like the most important joke, I told you I'm a comedy nerd. Like the most important joke where he told a joke about, he was like, the cops got this new move where they just pretty much just break a nigga. And literally that joke resurfaced after you have police brutality. And everybody was like, yeah, like he was way ahead of his time to where it's like, he got this new move. We just break a nigga. And everybody just look like, oh, he broke. And it's still funny to this day.
I have to look it up.
See? I'm giving y'all work.
They show the dark side of comedy. It's crazy.
It's all that stuff.
It's crazy good. It's crazy. Every episode they talk about a different comedian.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really.
It's on the TV.
It's on whole
Yeah.
I
TV.
don't have that.
Yeah. And it always go fast. I just want to say it. I know I've listed a lot of black comics. I do like white comedies. Like comics as well. Like I love Robin Williams. Like,
You don't say Robin Williams.
I love Robin Williams.
I liked his acting, his comedic movies.
Okay, of course you never seen his stand-up. His stand-up is literally like a one-man show.
It is crazy. Like
It's a lot of hand movements. It's a whole lot of just throwing his voice here, throwing his voice there, and it's not what is happening.
it's not like
the acting?
Kaufman, but it's Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
He's not like that crazy, but he's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Like acting? Like he does a lot of movements?
Yeah,
I mean, so.
It's his style of comedy is so good. Like I remember I watched one of his old ones called Robin Williams Live at the Met or whatever it's called, and how his energy was so on, and like he'll tell a joke and it's like he'll move his hand like, hi fucker, hello, like it's so weird on how it's different types of comedies, different type of comedians.
Yeah.
He was able to connect with so many people, and like of course he was funny in movies, but to be funny live, just being extra, basically behaving like somebody who has ADHD, just going back and forth or just like moving around all the fucking time, fucking crazy.
Did you see him live or like on stand?
No, these are like from the 70s, 80s.
I am not a time traveler, lady.
Well, I saw Adam Sandler in St. Augustine a couple years ago doing stand-up.
Awesome.
But he had like a guitar and he had a singing thing at the end and he had a screen with photos and he did this whole his style of comedy.
Oh, so you had a chance
To see him.
to see the special that he just dropped on Netflix.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because his new special, which is called "I Love You,"
Mm-hmm.
And his wife's in it. And all
his
that.
wife is in it. His wife is in it. He's of course doing songs and shit like that. But at the end, he dedicates the whole
his wife, right?
the whole thing not only to his wife, but he dedicates it to comedy. It's a song he made about comedy, and it lists all the comics going back to Abbott and Costello all the way up until like now. All of
That's awesome. I need to watch that because the last one I saw, the last special of his I saw it was like 2-3 years
That's
ago.
interesting. I didn't know that.
yeah, you must have right what you saw, man.
No, he's a cool dude, I'm pretty sure.
He was cool.
He's been doing comedy since he was a kid. 10 years old, so I don't know, like 10 years.
Yeah, man.
If he was young.
I'm just a big nerd when it comes to comedy. Like I love learning about comedians. I love watching comedians. I love just being able to see people's mind think different. Like your style is different. Your style is different. Like every time I see you, it's like you're coming like from working out because it's like always sweat. I was like, yo, does this lady live in a gym?
Pretty sure she does.
Like every time I see her, it's just like she has workout pants. I was like, yo, she means fucking business.
Yeah.
To break a workout routine to come do stand up. Look at you.
Yeah, I was driving around with my daughter and there was Flo. Hey, I don't come out of the gym.
So bye. There I was.
That's awesome, man. Nah, but I like everybody's style. And I love, no matter what I hear about the Jacksonville comedy scene, I love,
If you can't spell or
You're
I love all the styles of comedy that we have here. Like I can tell the ones who really sit down and like write shit out, and they're really like, yeah, I'm serious about this. Or you have the guys who you can tell like they freestyling.
Right.
That's how they come up with their shit.
Sometimes I'd freestyle the whole thing, and at the end everyone's like, great set, and like, I just made it up just now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but not always. I also do like long story, like if I have a story like you said about the family or something, but then I overwrite, and then I gotta trim the fat. I have this whole long story that this happened, and I gotta trim all the fat. But anyway, yeah. So like, yeah, everyone's got their own style. I respect how everyone's got their own.
Yeah. That's what I respect. It's so objective. That's why there is no funniest comedian for everybody.
There's no right.
You know, it's like music. There is no best music. You know,
It's hard that you just pick like
It's not. It's not. So Flo, I'm interested to know, when did you go on stage? And like, well, what was that moment was like, yo, I want to try stand-up comedy.
Oh, look at this, our guest asking us stuff. Our guest never asked me shit. You are a nice guy.
I know. Flo, how's your day? Fuck it all. No, how's your day?
It's funny you ask. Yeah, no one's ever asked me. How long have we been doing this? And no one's ever asked my
You should
version.
really start asking more questions.
Yeah.
It's off the road.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I think this might be the first time I'm telling this. That
and I know when you started, so because you started with improv, didn't you?
I know, but no, before improv is my passion. I got into that first, but long before that, when I was a resident assistant on campus at FAMU, I took the opportunity to do some stand-up without people knowing, but like we had all the freshmen inside of like the residency. Like we had like 300 people in our big huge, and we had to have meetings all the time.
Okay.
So instead of just saying, hi, I'm Flo, I'm the RA, like, because you're supposed to introduce yourself, I just set up and actually got like hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube. This was my first year in college, second year in college. And I just got there and I had this whole routine. And I'm like, I'm just going to talk shit about white people at a black campus.
Nice.
And
Brave.
yeah, my friend, I had no fucks given. None. And I just made fun of all white people and shit. And my friend recorded it. And like, that was fun. And I don't know why after that was like, I want to do this and this would be great. But then I think I was so focused on get a degree in something important and fuck all the arts and all this, when the passion was acting, comedy, improv. But my very first time on, like in front of a huge crowd, like just talking jokes was that. And my first year in college, I was 17. So I was 18. Yeah, I was young. I couldn't even get in the clubs the first few months of school.
Oh wow.
That was fucked up. I did scratch off the 1 though on my ID because that's 11. So
you were born in 900 something.
Yeah.
Instead of 1000.
Yep. So anyway, that was my very first time, and I felt like it's like I feel like Jacksonville. It's like when people ask you your backstory and they hear like, oh, you haven't been doing it long, or you've done this or that, then it's like all automatic. I just don't
Pushback.
Yeah, I don't like it. I like how you said all these other, I've heard this many times, like other cities have camaraderie and people help each other, and I don't have that here. I don't feel that here. Like everyone's like just cutthroat. Go, good luck. And I'm just like, just trying to do my own thing, get on the stage, go home. I got work in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't like that about Jacksonville.
Yeah. No. Okay.
And I'm sorry that you guys feel this way. I feel awesome. I give everybody advices.
No, for me, man, I've people like to ask like, man, you think that's like, dude? I think if you get on stage and try some shit, hey man, one, that's kudos for you doing that shit. I encourage anybody to try stand-up. If you interested, if you ever ask me, hey man, try it, because you don't fucking know.
You don't know until you try.
You don't know until you try it. And then also, like, I'm never gonna say, oh yeah, that person sucks. Like, no,
like I never say that about anyone.
I like, no. If you're coming to ask me, how did I do on a set? Okay, I'm gonna like, one, guy was cool, and then, or are you asking me like, hey, how can I improve this joke? And like, okay, cool. I can be like, okay, do this right here. Somebody asked me for advice for a joke, and they was like, how do you get inspired? just to, you know, say shit that you say. And I said, well, I do this. I watch TV and I watch the news or shit like that. And that helped them. That helped them like be like, okay. And now they're able to incorporate what they learned, like how they do. Like it's basically, I don't care about helping somebody construct a joke. Like one, it's not stealing a joke from me because you're not sounding like me. I'm giving you shit that you can very much fucking can use.
And if we want to talk about culture,
Yeah.
I think black culture helps each other more, and like sometimes white culture is so competitive. It's like fuck you mentality. Like I'm gonna be the best. Fuck you. We have our clique here, and we're gonna help each other, but fuck the rest of you.
I think it goes back and forth because I've experienced both sides. Like the side,
No, of course, and I would include myself as one of those good white people. I am one of those good white people that
well, no, like I would. It goes both sides to where I've seen my people, man, where we reach that mountaintop to where like I got shows, I got because I'm traveling, and you kind of say, "Fuck you," to the people who you kind of came up with. You know what I mean? And you're not really trying to help out. You're not really trying to do anything, or you just have this mentality of just like, yeah, it's only me, or you come up, you gonna take my shine. Like, nah, like it's really not. It's about helping one another. Like, it's so many avenues to do stand-up comedy. Like we just listed, like Adam Sandler gets on stage and plays a fucking guitar and makes songs, and that's stand-up comedy.
Right.
You had Robin Williams who stood on the stage and was like doing a one-man show and just doing weird shit all the fucking. That's fucking stand-up comedy. It's different avenues to do it, and I think a lot of times we stop each other from processing. Like, dude, like I don't give a fuck if you had a fucking sold out show in fucking Brazil, they're like, bro, good shit for Flo. Like, who gives a fuck? And if you're able to be like, hey, I want to take Imre over here so he can do a show with me in Brazil. It's like it's about helping. Give people opportunities. Like I don't give a fuck.
Right.
I also feel like if someone helped you out, like I'm all about return the favor.
Yeah.
All about it. But I haven't received that back in Jacksonville comedy scene.
You are welcome at my mic anytime.
Thank you. Okay. Let me
You are welcome.
Let me rewind. It sounds like nobody's ever helped me. No, yes. Let me rewind. Yes, there are many comedians that I can count on but there are also many that I've looked out for, that I've done a favor for, that I've helped for, and did not return it. And I'm like, why? Why? And I think that's that competitive, that hater mentality, the jealous mentality, or whatever the fuck it is. Because I've even called them out on it. Like, hey, like, several people, I looked out for you. What's up? You're not gonna reciprocate the favor?
It's
like, why?
And a lot of times it does come down to
it's competition and hater and jealousy.
It's jealousy, it's competition, and and I get comedy is that selfish sport where everybody wants to be the man.
What sport is not a selfish sport? Everyone wants to be the fucking best.
Exactly.
In this country.
Exactly. Like, so it's a sport where everybody wants to be the fucking man. Like when I walk through, put my name up there, watch me go up here and
it's cutthroat.
You feel me?
It's cutthroat.
But for me, I'm realizing I'm a nice person. Yeah. I'm a cool ass guy.
I'm trying to be fair.
I don't care if you that motherfucker, like you top notch. It's a base.
We are in the same city.
We in the same fucking. We're in the same fucking avenue. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're on the same fucking street. We all in the same fraternity or sorority. It's just like you got more people that's in the hierarchy, and hopefully one day, like, I can get to that level. The one person who I admire a lot is I hate to say his name, I've said it before, but Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart has the same fucking guys that he's been with for years.
I watched
and
him.
He has the same fucking crew.
His openers killed. Actually, he killed more than he did. The best show I saw in Jacksonville, like a year ago.
And that's
killed,
And that's fucking great. You know what I'm saying? You got the same crew, but also you've seen Kevin Hart shine lights on people who are not in his crew, where it's giving people opportunity to be funny. or giving more people the shine of like, hey man, this person is funny in Jacksonville. This person is funny in Chicago. That's why he had the whole show called The Heart of the City, where he put on comics that were killing in the local area. And now he's giving them a TV credit. So when you go to a festival, when you go to like a Funny Bone or a Comedy Zone, oh man, you know, I was on the such and such show that was produced by Kevin Hart. It's that type of shit. Yeah. Where it's not a competition. And a lot of times, like, we could be all comics, like whether you local, whether you coming up, we could all be helping each other out. It's just the one. You know what I mean? It's not.
We all become better together. We don't have to like try to kill people to become better.
Yeah, I don't like. Listen, man. Everybody's style of comedy is different. You know what I mean? And I think what a lot of people do in comedy,
suck dick.
Okay, as you say. And that's gonna be the clip. Like, a lot of people in comedy suck dick. All right. That's gonna be the clip.
There it is.
But no, like a lot of people in comedy, whether you're doing comedy, what fucks up a lot of people, it's not the style of comedy, it's people's personalities. When you come in with that cocky shit,
Oh yeah.
it's your personality. If you come in with a loving personality and just a cool person, that's how you're able to get yourself out there. Like, of course, you gotta be able to talk shit and know what somebody fucking with you or not. But it's like, if you come into a spot that you're not familiar with, like for me, example, I'm from Ohio. When I got here, I ain't know none of y'all motherfuckers.
Yeah.
So when you coming into a whole nother environment, you got to humble yourself, start from the fucking bottom, and then give like, oh yeah, hey man, you know that dude named DeAndre, man, he did good a couple times. We've seen him. He's not even from here. I've never seen him. But he's really cool to hang out with. He talks like he's a pretty cool guy. So it's like you have to humble yourself when you are in a new setting, and then like, bro, it's okay to work with one another. That's, you brought up a very good point. A lot of people, whether you white, you black, black culture, white culture, what fucks us over, we get to that point of just cockiness.
Oh, for sure.
It's like, bro, like, I'm glad to be the funniest motherfucking. I'm glad to be, but I still want to surround myself around people that's gonna challenge me. You know what I mean? It goes to Kevin Hart. Like, he has the same people that challenge him, and the fact that you just say like, man, they were more funny than him, because like them motherfuckers, like, I got something to prove, and I'm hanging out with one of the biggest comedians of our generation.
His people were open for him killed.
Like, of our generation, like, he's our Eddie Murphy. You know what I mean? Like, he pretty much is. He's our Eddie Murphy of our generation. So it's you have to have somebody. You gotta surround yourself around people that's gonna challenge you to be fucking funny, and really be like, all right, cool, I'm gonna go out here and be funny. All right, I'm gonna go out here and be funny. Or it's okay to be like, you know what? Me and Imre both bombed tonight, but Flo went out there and destroyed they fucking ass. Good for Flo. Good for us.
Yeah, and then we bomb sometimes, so there he humbles yourself again.
Exactly.
If I'm trying new material, I don't know what the fuck is gonna let though. I don't care how many years you're in the game. If I'm trying to do new material, I don't know where it's gonna land.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you never know.
You never fucking.
Yeah, but you know, people are like, you know, the format, the premise, the punchline, but still, you don't know if it's fun. I personally don't know when any of my shit's funny. I find out. I'm like, oh, wow, that was fun. I didn't even know that was funny, and this was it that I thought might be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love the fact, like, somebody like Dave Chappelle, who literally has a fucking farm and invites people to his fucking farm.
Yeah.
And sits on a fucking stool.
For comedy?
For comedy.
That's cool.
And he just tries out shit.
So if I had a home, like an
You know what I'm
actual
saying?
home, that would be cool.
It's in one, like, we know Chappelle, he's funny.
Right.
He's funny.
He's funny.
Yeah, but to have a guy who's at that point where he's just humble enough to be like, bruh, if this shit go wrong, is it really gonna do anything? Yeah, right. Like,
He's to that point.
Like, is it really gonna hurt me? Like, the fact when he talked about his one special where he bombed in Detroit and he knew he was about to fucking bomb. He just felt it. It felt wrong, something, and he was just like, yeah, people said I sucked that night. And then I came back and did it again. Everybody's like, oh, he dies. He's fucking killed. It was like,
yeah,
it's not gonna hurt. Like, who gives a shit?
Who cares?
So if you try out new material, you're supposed to suck. Like this is
absolutely.
This shit is not supposed to be. First off, if you are a comic, and if you get off killing at open mics, that is not. If that's your ceiling,
Yeah.
so if that's your ceiling, that's it. You achieved.
My first mentor, shout out to Tyrone, told me, do not be the king of open mics.
Yeah.
And I always keep that in mind.
Well,
You know what I mean?
yeah, but then like so that's what I feel is the weird thing, because when you go and ask some people like, oh, what about this show? Can I get on that show or that show? Well, I need to see you kill it at an open mic. I'm like, I'm not fucking going to an open mic. I got my gold nuggets for shows that you can watch a clip or you can come to a show and see some gold nuggets. I'm not going to these open mics to lay out all my, when the room is hot, just, kill it. I'm like, no, sorry, not for me. Open mic is trying the new material. Maybe I'll throw in an old joke. I know that's got a good laugh in the beginning to be like, test the crowd. Is this a good crowd? Because I know this joke kills, and if I don't get a laugh, I'm like, there's something with this crowd. I don't know. Well, I'm not going to trust them with the rest of my new shit.
Yeah,
anyway, personal thing.
No. But the thing is, though, there are people who are like, oh, yeah, I want to see you, like, at least, like, kill at an open mic. For me, that's not, like, it's not like my thing. Like, if you saw me at an open mic and I did good and I got killed just genuinely, that's cool. But at an open mic is, unless you have the proper room and it is set up for comedians to do a job, which is tell jokes, and they're really coming to hear comedy, then that's where you just like, okay. And I think what they should say is like, hey, man, there's a room, we're going to use like rock bottom. Hey, there's a room at the Comedy Zone, man. And a lot of comics go and the host sets it up for comedy. Everybody comes there for comedy. If you want to meet me there at that mic, and see how you're able to work that room and see how maybe we can work and do something. But if you are asking me to audition at Hillary's Hucklebuck Chicken Wing Barn, if you don't kill with that 12-year-old sitting in the corner playing his fucking Nintendo Twist, you not being on my show. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
I think it's more than that. I mean, it can't be that. I think it's just an excuse.
That is like somebody using an excuse, like throw their weight. If this is like, if it's a proper set up open mic and it is produced to be like, this is for really people are gonna come in, they're gonna sit down, they're gonna get a drink. We're gonna shut the fucking TVs off, and we're gonna hone in on this open mic. I mean, people are coming to see this shit. That's where you like, okay, all right. Well, this is a room where I can be like, hey, I see a lot of comics go to, and I can probably get some work and probably talk to people. But if you just saying,
hey, I see these people every fucking time, and you've already seen me do this maybe a year ago. Like, I don't want to be stealing this.
Some people play the bullshit game where you just want to keep seeing them. Like, But if you set up a proper room and you see like comments are coming in there taking it serious, and they're bringing their cameras, and they see like, oh man, hey man, they really come and fuck with us. All right, man, let me see what you got going on right here. If you can come to this room right here that's actually set up for fucking comedy, hell yeah. But if you asking me to fucking auditions at a chicken wing spot, where ain't nobody fucking paying attention at all, fuck that. Fuck that shit.
Well, I'm even talking. There's a whole hot crowd, and like in me personally, there's a huge crowd for comedy there, and it's an open mic. I still want to take that opportunity with a whole bunch of people focused on comedy to see, is my new material. I feel like that's a better test of new material. Like, is this shit gonna work or not? Now you're talking about cameras. The Boussoir had the cameras last week. I'm like, dude, I want my open mic material shit done. Where is like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but it is, and a lot of people do it because they want to see them, which is cool. That's dope. But it's a thing of where a lot of times, man, we like to and let's be real with comedians. We like to politic a lot. Like, this person's good. Yeah, we should probably put them on the show. Well, sure. Well, we got to do this. We got to put them. But the thing is, man, I'm a person, if you put the same people on the same show on this, and they see it every time.
Right.
And you have a good fan base, people are gonna be like, bro, it's the same guy,
Same guy, yeah.
or it's the same lady. Switch it out with different people. Like, we have some upcoming comics who are trying comedy. When I look at Death by Comedy, these are people who probably was influenced by Instagram, or they influenced by this style of comedy, like Off the Phone. That's what they know. And then now they get in it and see like, oh, okay, they're finding their way. And a lot of times we discredit or just say, fuck them, man. Like, but bro, they learn it. They don't fucking know. They're still learning how to conduct a show. They're still learning how to conduct a joke. You know what I mean? So it's like we have a new school of comedians. They always happens. New school of comedians that come up, and they're trying to do comedy, trying to understand it, but also they trying to find their lane in comedy. And it's like, don't discredit that. Don't shit on them because you have your style. That's Flo's style. Flo likes to do her way. Imre likes to do it his way. I like to do it my way. Yeah. You have these new people that's coming in. Why not put them on your shows? Why not see how they can handle an audience that a paid show, a paid show, and see how they can handle it? Because if they can rise to the opportunity or they crumble to the opportunity, it's both a learning and coachable moment. Well, like, hey man, you did good on this show. I like the way you handled this show. When you come back, we'll have to keep you in the loop, keep you working. Or if you didn't do good, hey, this is where you need to pump up your stage presence or pump up that joke. I understand we have people that's coming to see a show. That's fair. You got people who are paying money to see us do what the fuck we need to do. But if you add somebody on there for 5 minutes and you paying them, maybe it's like, hey man, I've already got my paid comments taken care of, but I'm gonna give you something a little extra. Well, something to the side, and let them do 5 minutes. Why not? If they're different, they have a different voice. And that's one thing I do for our open mic. I want to see the people who you don't see get another fucking opportunity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not about, I don't care if you got the best credits. I don't care if you done been on different 5 fucking podcasts. I don't care. It's like, these are people who are new, and they may have something they can able to connect with the generation that's addicted to this shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why I like some of the newcomers, because guess what? They said, well, I don't get booked on shows. Guess what? I'm doing my own shows. And they are running shows all over town. Yeah. And, some people are getting upset. Oh, they are running shows. Well, yeah, because nobody booked them. So now they're their own shows. And guess what? The shows are great. So
and the shows will be great because you have new comics who, like, we're learning this together. Yeah. And then also we're friends. We don't really care about all the bullshit that the older comics may have going on. Yeah. And then you're going to see the audience are going to go to that.
Sure. No, but there's a lot of drama.
They go to that. And then you're going to have the people who probably are seasoned going like, why the fuck they going to that? And then you go to the show and you see why. It's fun. It's laid back. It's not like a lot of pressure. It's very interactive. Like, what I see from the posts that they do on Death by Comedy, I love to see the audience. The audience, and I hadn't even been there yet. It's just like, man, they look like they having a good ass time.
They're all paying attention. They're super like
they're supportive. They're all listening.
Listening.
They give feedback at the end, and when they post on Instagram, they give a little title of like what stood out to them. It's a thing, like.
But that's how you do that shit.
I like it. They're a good vibe.
They are a good vibe, and the more and more we develop that, bruh, all the bullshit where people don't want to book them, they won't need it. Like, I have my own fucking room. Yeah. And then eventually I can pay fucking comics to come do my own fucking room.
Period.
Amen.
It's just like, I love comedy too much, and it's always like drama in any comedy fucking scene.
No, for sure. There's drama everywhere.
But it's just,
no, of course. But
it's just so, one, what we learned from this podcast. One, we got to work together. we ought to very much work together, pump up each other, man. Like,
Yep.
don't have people audition like several fucking times at a fucking chicken wing spot. And like if you literally want to see somebody do work, man, you know, if they got videos of themselves in another atmosphere,
Yeah.
take a watch. You know what I mean? Take a watch, or hey man, watch them go to a room that actually is paying attention
Yeah.
to comedy.
Yeah.
Like not a spot where everybody either it's like, yeah, it's hot right now, but then as soon as somebody goes to the bathroom or cut the TV on, just like, yeah, we're done here.
Yeah.
What the fuck they have to say?
Because also, if you're seeing me, you know, I think there's comics here that probably saw me bomb many, many times. Every time I went to that same open mic, I tried this and I tried that for over a year. Who knows how many years the same crew here. You know, remember when we had the San Marco open mic at the Kava bar?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I remember many nights. Sometimes I was like, okay, I got many jokes, I got these laughs, I edited, and I bombed many times in the same communities because we know each other, you know what I mean? Like, so it's just weird for you to be like, oh, you know, and then someone can come in and see me do well and then offer me a show where these others, yeah, okay, you saw me bomb, but how many years have you seen me, you know, do well, do good, and then bomb here and there a bunch of times with new shit? Because I've been trying to produce new stuff on a constant basis, so to have a whole bunch of material. But anyway, yeah.
All right, a lot of laughter at the end, guys. Man. Yeah.
I'm pissed.
I know. I'm like the flow is gonna flip the table.
Fucking out of here.
Flo is angry, guys. But no, this was a great podcast.
Good.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Flo has a lot of homework to learn about tonight. Yeah.
Who is white? Who is black?
Who is white? Who is black?
I'm so glad. I'm the one who says racist. I'm sick, man. I'm so glad I didn't.
It's Richard Brockie's white. Black cards. Let's.
What am I thinking of?
I was thinking about
there a name of someone that sounds like an older white guy?
Richard, sure, but first name. Yeah. But I was thinking who you might be thinking of. I have no idea.
I don't know.
There was the one guy in a
Ron the Dangerfield, maybe? You're thinking about Ron the Dangerfield? The guy with no respect. No respect. No respect.
Yes.
respect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Ron
Yeah. I mean, they were both on drugs, but all right.
Yeah, that's what they have in common.
All right, but thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much. You're awesome, dude.
Wildcats, and you are really awesome. And plug your socials.
You can follow me on Instagram at DeAndre Comedy _. Facebook, it is just DeAndre Stringer. Be on the lookout for January the 13th at Gray Matter. It will be the D&D Takeover Showcase. Comedy showcase. We're gonna have we're gonna be posting a flyer very soon with the comics that we have. Be looking out. I want to be DMing a lot of comedians. We'll try to headline our spot. We're looking for all the support that we can. Gray Matter is a good spot out there in Mayport. It's been allowing us to do comedy there, so it's been fun. Want to keep having more people come, and just stay tuned.
All right, sounds great. Flo, what is your?
Flow funny, gringo loca.
I am stand up everywhere else. All right, let's clap one last time. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, did you hear that? We got the lowdown on the streets where the talk's at. From the hood to Hollywood, we spilling all the tea. Ain't no secret safe, no, we bring the heat. We dropping names and we dishing the dirt. Did you hear that? Spreading rumors like crack, ain't no turning back. We the real OGs taking it to the airwaves. Did you hear that? Getting the scoop, all the celeb facts. You better listen up, cause we run this podcast.